With this situation, there are a number of things in play. There's never just one simple answer. You have many on the planet that believe that there is an overpopulation situation. Yeah. So they have to figure out ways how to reduce that population and make the strongest ones survive. And that's what the vaccine agenda is. It's a fear-based agenda. If you look at, let's say, the late 1800s, early 1900s, your population was nowhere near as big as it is right now, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's because there were certain diseases and things, and of course plumbing and hygiene and all of these sort of things were in play, and you didn't have the medical assistance that you have with regards to operations, healing individuals, and knowledge that you have right now. The technology just didn't exist. So let's say you're on a farm and you cut your leg open, chances are it will get infected and you die. If you had a heart attack, then you died. If you had a stroke, well, usually there wasn't the medical assistance to assist you, so you would die. If you had certain diseases, you would die. You didn't die necessarily from measles or chickenpox or rubella or things like this, but you did if you didn't have the proper care, as in clean environment. These plagues that were going on, the black plagues, etc., were all about being created by rats and really bad hygiene. Yeah, no plumbing, just really bad hygiene. So that's how these things got spread. So the population was kept sort of down to a good amount through illness, through a natural thing of the strongest surviving. And as you grew in your technology, in your third dimensional reality of mental plane, which creates technology, finds solutions, etc., you started to discover, and through the aid of many starseeds, you were able to create medical revolutions. So the idea of vaccinating came along at the same time as good hygiene. So which one really helped? If you look at those that have been vaccinating, let's have a look at the MTFHR gene, which now makes up to varying degrees 60% of the world's population. Why would that be? Could it have something to do with vaccines 50 years ago? Maybe. We believe so. So if you have a compromised immune system and you have that gene, then if you get vaccinated, let's say that carries on genetically to your children, and then your children who have that gene with a weakened immune system then get vaccinated, you have a problem. So it's really about the strongest surviving. And you can be assured that the strongest that survive are those that are informed. So those that are in government, those that are in medical, those that are in high positions of information will not vaccinate themselves or their children because they are aware that it compromises the very DNA. However, these things have been created to in a way create a weakened immune system, not a strong one. And a person that has a weakened immune system is more susceptible to other illnesses as well. So look at your autoimmunes. This is at plague proportions on the planet. The same with cancer. Cancer is growing daily. Are these a result of chemicals? Yes. Are some of those chemicals given to you in these vaccinations? Yes, they are. A lot of the vaccinations are experiments. And here you're going back to the time of Atlantis. So when we talk about that separation that we were talking about in realities, it's happening at the moment, even in the area of to vaccinate or not to vaccinate, there's a massive separation that's going on, a division that's happening, and fights that are happening. You have parents screaming that if you don't vaccinate your children, you're killing their children who are vaccinated against the very thing that they're accusing you of giving their child. So they would rather their child be autistic in some way or compromised physically than not being vaccinated, which is ridiculous in itself, because they don't truly understand what measles, smallpox, chicken pox, and all of these things truly are, because they've been in a position of, let's say, being indoctrinated on a mental plane into believing the controversy and the lies about what these diseases actually are. And if you look at history, you will see that there have been many medical practitioners and scientists that have been against these vaccines all along. However, they have all been silenced, and they continue to be silenced. So it is a very controversial subject, because it's about actually weakening one's health and immune system so that there is a depopulation. For instance, if you've got a group of people that have a compromised immune system and then you put a chemical storm in that area, they're going to die. So you're going to get rid of a big population. Or you put in a virus or a bacterial infection. Because they're weaker, they will die. So what they're doing is preparing for a mass, let's say, depopulation program. It's already prepared. The way is already prepared. And what better way than to create division between the people? So the division between the people is to create anger, fear, doubt. Some people get so angry they attack. And if you're full of toxic metals, you'll get very angry and you will attack. So, there are many that believe that they are doing the right thing, because there's a polarization happening in information. So they believe that they're doing the right thing by their children and by their elderly to vaccinate. However, we would say that with the right sunlight and good healthy food, the reason that you have such a, we're going to change that, the reason that you have such a high population of people is because of that. If you look at the 18th, 19th, it would be the 19th and the 20th century, because hygiene was better and the food was still all organic to the most part. That's the reason you have a population explosion, because people were healthier and they lived longer and they multiplied because they were fertile. Children didn't die in childbirth. If you went prior to those years, many mothers and children died in childbirth. When you had an advancement in the medical, they were able to save a lot more lives. So you went through a period in your history where it was about saving lives and keeping people healthier. Now you're in a situation where, yes, there's a massive population overgrowth because of all the good work, and now they have to depopulate. in a way. That's how they see it, to depopulate. But in fact, if you went back to your original system, not your original system, but the system that was there, let's say in the 20th century, people would have the opportunity to die in dignity, to live more healthily, but maybe shorter lives in a way, but also with education also comes depopulation, because educated people don't wish to have 12 children or 24 children or 4 or 6 children. They might have 1 child or 2 because it's easier to cope. China decided to put for a number of years, one-child policy. So they could easily have done that also, but they chose not to.
Yeah.
So it has been a choice by government systems. And if you look at your governments, any government, any country, the division between the left and the right, but they're both the same. Either party will take away your rights, either one. So they're actually working for the same team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we would say about vaccines.